You're listening to The Standard Podcast. Eye-opening for your ears.
สวัสดีค่ะโบสาวิตรีนะคะ This is We Need To Talk Podcast Talk Show ภาษาอังกฤษสำหรับคนไทยที่ใช้ภาษาอังกฤษค่ะ Hi you guys, welcome back to our show and thank you so much for listening. ตามธรรมเนียมของ We Need To Talk โบจะชวนแกสของเราคุย3ประเด็นนะคะถ้าเกิดว่าเป็นพี่สู้ชิงโบว่าเรื่องที่เราต้องชวนคุยเรื่องแรกน่าจะเป็นความเป็นนางฟ้าไอทีของนางค่ะโบอยากรู้ว่าทำไมผู้หญิงสวยกับเรื่องไอทีมันถึงเข้ากันอย่างไม่น่าเชื่อพี่สู้ชิงน่าจะมีคำตอบที่ดีเดี๋ยวมาฟังกันค่ะเรื่องที่2เนื่องจากพี่สู้ชิงเป็นนักเรียนสาว AFS และมาจาก USA เหมือนโบเลยแต่ว่าเราอยู่กันคนละฝั่งกันนะคะโบอยู่ทางฝั่งตะวันตกทางแคลิฟอร์เนียส่วนพี่สู้ชิงเป็นสาวนิวยอร์กฝั่งตะวันออกชีวิตนักเรียนฝั่งโน้นจะเป็นยังไงบ้างเปรี้ยวหวานแค่ไหนหรือว่าเผ็ดไหมเดี๋ยวโบจะถามให้นะคะและเรื่องสุดท้ายโบอยากจะชวนพี่สู้ชิงคุยเรื่องที่เป็นกระแสอยู่เลยในช่วงนี้นะคะนั่นก็คือเรื่องวงการทีวีค่ะว่ายังสบายดีไหมจะอยู่หรือจะไปอะไรยังไงมาฟังกันดีกว่านะคะว่าพี่สู้ชิงซึ่งเป็นคนทำทีวีมาโดยตลอดจะมีมุมมองเรื่องนี้ยังไงกันบ้างค่ะเอาละค่ะตอนนี้ได้เวลาเปลี่ยนโหมดเป็นภาษาอังกฤษกันแล้วนะคะพร้อมหรือยังคะ Ladies and gentlemen, it would be my pleasure to introduce our guest for this episode of We Need To Talk podcast. She's a TV personality, a host of an IT show on Voice TV, and she's so nice and pretty too. Of course she is, being an IT angel and everything. Miss Su Shing!Hello, P. Su Shing, and thank you so much for coming on our show today. Our first section of the show is called Been There, Done That. And of course, you being one of the IT angels of Thailand, first thing we're going to talk about today is your show on Voice TV, Cool Tech, and of course, your IT angel status. So, you know, has IT has always been your thing? Because I know that your dad has an IT store down south.
Yes.
So you've always been around technologies and IT stuff.
True. That's how I became an IT angel.
Yeah.
It feels really weird, by the way, being called that. But, you know, it makes me feel like I died and I went to heaven and I became an angel.
With the wings and halo
I know,
and everything.
and like, you know, playing with technology and stuff. But, yeah, thank you for having me here. So I've always been interested in technology since, as you mentioned, my dad opened a computer store 35 years ago when I was still a baby. And I've always seen him like working around computers, playing, tinkering with the IT stuff. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much how I became interested in technology and stuff like that.
What was the appeal of it? I mean, as a little girl, seeing all these computers and seeing your dad, you know, messing around with the computer, what would you say was
what I like the
appeal?
most? Video games.
Yeah.
That's what I remember. I remember that maybe I was like 5 years old and I would walk to a Macintosh computer, turn it on by myself and was just kind of waiting for the game to, you know, open and then I would get a chance to play. I don't even remember what I liked to play so much.
Yeah, I was about to ask you.
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember that one of the games that I used to like playing so much was Shuffle Puck Cafe. It was a air hockey.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of like you bounce the ball back and forth.
Classic.
But yeah, so I think I got interested in it because of the video games on computer, and that's how I figured that, oh wow, this is a pretty cool stuff. If I could get to play games on it, then it's just like magical.
So when you first discovered the love for IT, did you ever think to yourself, gee, maybe one day I'll make a living out of this?
Well,
Had that occurred to you?
No, I mean maybe yes and no because growing up in a computer business, I always had to help my parents selling computers. So during like summer vacation, ปิดเทอม you know, I would be at home, which is also like home slash store.
Right.
I would have to talk to customers, trying to sell them computers, computer laptops or accessories and stuff. So I never really got a chance to just go out and play.
Right.
But I had to memorize specifications, you know, like tech specs. So when customer asked me, I'll be able to tell them.
Yeah.
So that's in a way that made me feel like, okay, maybe I might have to make a living out of this. But I did not enjoy it so much. I mean, I helped my parents for maybe a few years and then I discovered that, okay, this is not something that I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
Right.
And then I got a phone call from someone who also went to my school, my high school and my college. And he asked if I would be interested in moving to Bangkok and, working for a TV station. It was something like, it was an entirely new idea for me.
Yeah.
But somehow I was intrigued. So I decided to move to Bangkok and, start being a reporter.
Would you say that was the life-changing decision for
definitely.
you?
Actually, I think like my decision to become an exchange student 15 years ago, that was kind of like a life turning point. But also when I decided that, okay, I would give being a reporter a chance. Then that's also another turning point. And I've always loved being in TV industry. And I think that, okay, I found my place and I'm happy.
And then you get to talk about stuff that you know so well too.
Yeah. And with passion, I think it's very important to have passion in whatever that you always talk about, so the viewers can really tell. I mean, if you're into something, they can see it in your eyes, they can hear it in your voice, and they know that you are really into this stuff that you're talking about.
Yeah, versus someone who just reads from the script of all the specs and all of that.
Right.
Since IT is something that's very closely used by humans, what would you say could be the biggest way that IT will change us and our lives in the foreseeable future?
I think it is already changing our lives tremendously.
Yep.
Like 10 years ago, we didn't even have our smartphone. We are not glued to our smartphone like we are nowadays. So I think it is changing us, and not slowly too. It is changing us quickly. Now we have our own personal assistant. We can talk to our phone, a computer, or a device like a home assistant, Google Home, or Amazon Echo.
Yeah.
So I think in a way, we are changing so much. Now we are talking about artificial intelligence. They might take over the world someday. So I think technology is going to keep improving and improving our life quality. That's one way that I look at it. So this is why I think that all of us should embrace technology, embrace changes, because it is going to change our life in a better ways.
What would you say is one technology or one gadget that you cannot live without?
Okay, I think my answer is going to be a bit cliche, but it's going to be my smartphone, right?
Of course! That would be my answer too.
I mean, if you leave your house and you just realize that two things. If you forgot your wallet or you forgot your smartphone, which one would you go for?
My phone.
Definitely.
I could survive without my wallet because I have my Easy Pass and
exactly.
I have the gas is in the tank.
You can pay using your phone.
Yeah.
Or you can even borrow your friend's money. It doesn't even matter because we want to be connected all the time. So I'm just saying that it's a cliche answer, but it's true. I cannot live without my phone.
Yeah, me too. What about if you have to name one gadget right now that you're dying to get your hands on, what would it be?
It's not something like a thing that I want to get my hands on, but I would say that I really want to be able to talk to some type of robots, to be able to be in the same room and to have a conversation with an artificial intelligence. Like, there are many well-known robots, and one of them is this girl robot called Sophia. She's an invention of Hanson Robotics Company. And recently, Sophia and the other robot was on the stage during the RISE conference in Hong Kong. And the two robots were just debating with each other, talking about discussing the future of human, whether robots can have like the same kind of emotions or conscious, just like humans. So I find that's very interesting. I would love to be able to talk to them. So it's not really like a gadget per se, but that's something that I really want to do, to be able to interview. Like, hey, Sophia, what do you think about human? Are you going to kill us in the future? Because that would be cool.
Yeah. I think you probably will have a chance to do that.
To be killed by a robot?
No, I mean to like interview some robots.
Okay, all right.
Like,
I did actually. Like 5 or 6 years ago, I went to Japan and I interviewed this professor, Hiroshi Ishiguro, who is inventor of the humanoid android robots that looked exactly like him. So I went into the room and there were two robots. One looked exactly like him and the other one is a woman robot. So I got to talk to them a little bit, but then I think 5 or 6 years ago, the technology wasn't this advanced and the robot couldn't think by itself. There had to be someone in another room talking through the microphone. So in a way, I got to talk to a robot, but just not that, that someone was controlling the robot. And that wasn't so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that at Disneyland. It's interactive. You're talking to a robot, but it's like someone is talking to you.
Right. I mean, if you're a kid, it's okay.
Yeah.
And you don't expect the robot to be able to, I mean, like you don't mind if someone is controlling it. But now if you talk to a robot and you know that someone is behind it, it kind of takes the fun out of it. Yeah.
All right. So earlier you've mentioned that another decision that sort of changed your life was to go study abroad in the U.S.
Yeah, right.
So now we need to talk about your life in the U.S. of A.
Oh, you were an exchange student too, right?
Well, I lived there for 10 years. I just went to school there, but I didn't go through an exchange program or anything. Yeah. So can you still remember, like, what can you still remember vividly about living in New York?
Okay, so something that I always remembered is when I had to walk to school every morning thinking that I don't want to go to school because I was lazy. But another thing is how kind my host family was to me. I mean, you really have to kind of gamble a little bit if you want to get a good host family, because this is something that you cannot choose by yourself. I mean, you are chosen by your host family. So this is something that I remember being like the first time I met them and the first impression and everything. It was perfect. The moment that I saw the house, I thought to myself, wow, like I hit the jackpot. Yeah, I know. The house was like huge and I was kind of worried that I might be living in a hole or something.
Yeah.
Like, cause
in the basement, like locked in the basement, like Harry Potter.
That would have been terrible. But when I saw the house and it was huge and I'm like, okay, good. I'm good to go for a year.
Yeah. You're all set. And you said they were really kind and nice. And I've heard from a lot of AFS students that, getting a good host family is like you said, hitting a jackpot.
Right.
Can you tell us about yours?
Okay, the first time that I got to talk to them, that was back in I think 2000. I think that was the year 2000, and we just in Thailand we just started to have emails. So one day I was waiting for some answer from AFS that they were able to find me a host family. But then after like a few months, I started to get worried. And I started to feel like I was a puppy that nobody wanted. Like, I was like waiting for them to pick me up, pick me up, adopt me. So I didn't hear from any of the AFS representatives. And then I started to get a little bit anxious. But then one day I got an email from my host mom and she sounded so nice. Like she was welcoming me to the family and she said she couldn't wait to meet me in person. So the first time that I saw them, they just came back from the beach and then they picked me up on the way, which made me feel like I was a puppy really. But so they picked me up and the first time that I saw my host sister and my host mother and my host father, I don't know. I was so happy because they seemed to be like really, really nice people, and they ended up that way. Like they're so nice, and we are still in touch. We talk
to
a lot.
this day.
Yes,
Aww.
I waited for them to come and visit me in Thailand for 10 years. I mean, maybe more than 10 years, but they made their trip last year. So yay!
Whoa! Did you take them around? Where did you take them?
I took them to Hua Hin.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
okay.
to this one resort, and also to Chatuchak Market. My host family, my host mom and my host sister, they could just live there, you know.
Yeah.
And they just spent the whole day at Chatuchak Market buying stuff, and they were just going crazy. They were screaming, "Why is everything so cheap and so pretty?"
Yeah, a lot of my foreign friends love Chatuchak and Platinum Mall.
Oh, should have taken them there too.
Yeah. What part of New York were you in? It's not in the city, right? Not in New York City?
Upstate New York. It's a city called Canandaigua, which is a Native American language. I think Canandaigua. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it means brave, but I'm not sure. I mean, I feel a bit ashamed that I don't know the meaning of it. But yeah, it's a small town in upstate New York.
So that's nice. So one of the experiences that makes going to high school in the U.S. unique is getting to go to prom on your senior year. And I've heard that yours wasn't too pleasant.
I say exactly.
Yeah. Is it going to be too cruel to ask you to relive this experience?
No, it's okay. Well, I didn't have that good of an experience in high school in America because I think that I was this really shy girl who found it difficult to connect to people. I was very timid. I didn't have the courage to walk up to someone and, make friends with them. So I was really quiet. And I think if you happen to run into my former classmates back in the U.S. and you ask them, how I was back in the exchange year, they probably say something like, she was so quiet. I didn't get to talk to her and she was not that interesting. Because I know it was really hard to blend in.
Yeah, and it's the language barrier too,
exactly.
right?
I couldn't communicate that well. And I felt like being like one of the few Asians in school, I felt different. And I felt like maybe someone didn't understand me. But yeah, so I went through the whole year without making that many of a friends. But when prom came, I was a bit nervous because how American movies always make it out like this is something big. And if you are not asked to go to a prom by someone, then you might be a loser. And I was afraid of that. What if nobody asked me to go to a prom? And so yeah, it was kind of like intense. I was under a lot of stress. But then one day when I was with my friend, he and we were in the kitchen, and I happened to mention that, okay, prom is coming, prom is approaching, and I will have to look for a dress. And then he looked really sad, and then he told me, okay, I'm sad because you didn't ask me to go to a prom with you. I mean, he was a junior back then. So, but I didn't really want to go with him. Because
you had someone else in mind, right?
Exactly. But he didn't ask me. I mean, like that person that I wanted to go to the prom with didn't show any interest in going to the prom with me. So he started crying a little bit. He was like tearing up, and I felt really bad. And I was like, okay, we can go together.
So you asked him out of pity.
I know. I mean, he was a really good friend, but it's just not someone that I wanted to,
go to prom with.
So I ended up going to the prom with him.
Right.
And did not have a good time because I think he was mad at me for something. I don't even remember.
Why?
Then it turned out that after that night, my host brother, who was also a senior in the same year, with a lot of his friends, set up a lot of tents in some yard that I don't even remember. And all of us have to like get together, and then we separate and we go into our own tent. And I felt really awkward because I'm like, I'm not really that close to you. So are we going to have to share a tent? So
awkward.
Yeah, I know. So I was glad that it was over. But also, I feel grateful that he wanted to go to the prom with me at least. So.
Aww. I wonder what he's doing right now.
I don't even know. I mean, I don't talk to him anymore. So
I mean, I don't talk to my prom date too.
Oh, really?
And
But
he was
did
just
you have
friend
a
too.
good time at your prom?
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
danced
What
the
did
night
you do?
away.
Why were you so cool?
My school was huge. My high school was huge. We had a graduating class of I think 1,000 people, and I was an athlete, so I had a lot of friends.
You were one of the cool people.
I wasn't cool, but I played sports.
So you were cool.
I had a lot of friends. So we went as a group, and I had a date, but he was actually a junior too. He was younger, so he was just a friend, and we just danced with our friends, and it was fun.
Yeah.
But that's
jealous.
okay.
I want to have that kind of prom. That was the prom that I had in mind. I feel like my prom, my fantasy prom was robbed out of me.
We need to throw you another prom here.
Yes,
man.
please. Thank you.
Seriously. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about another one of the elite sunset industries besides prints. Prints are like magazines.
Industry that I'm in, right?
Yes, and me too. So, people are saying that TVs keeps on losing viewers and to other platforms like Netflix or YouTube. You currently, like you said, are working in the TV industry. How worried are you?
Pretty worried, I think. I mean, I believe that people are still watching TV.
Yeah.
But definitely less. And
significantly less.
Yes, because, if you take a look at yourself, you would have the same lifestyle right now. When you go home, instead of turning on the TV, we used to do back in the years. Now, the first thing that we do when we get home, we check our phone. And sometimes when we do turn on the television, we don't really look at it. We just listen. But our main focus would be on the phone. And once you switch to Netflix, that's like, it's going to take the entire night. Everything is over. Yeah. So, yes, I think that a lot less people are watching TV. And now that we have more than 30 free TV channels, that's not really helping.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good that we have more free TV channels, but it happened to happen when maybe it's too late because people already know that they don't actually have to rely on TV to get their information or their source of entertainment. So the things that we have to do right now to be able to try to survive in this, we have to just expand outside of TV. Instead of just provide content for TV, we provide different types of content for TV, internet, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Everything has to be different. Everything has to be unique. So I think, it's getting harder and harder for people on TV. But I do believe that TV will be there. I mean, it will survive. Yeah. But maybe, you have to adapt a lot. You have to roll with it, with all the changes. Yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah, that's why a lot of, you've seen on the news that a lot of smaller channels have been closed down. And like you said, I think it comes a little too late. But like you said also, a lot of channels are, they're doing their live stream online and just, to get viewers. And I'm going to be honest with you. I am guilty I'm one of those people who go home, I'm home and I'm on my iPad.
You don't watch TV anymore.
Yeah. I just turn on either YouTube and follow on my favorite YouTubers or Netflix. I binge watch Netflix.
Me too. I love Netflix. I mean, I feel bad saying that because I'm supposed to be watching TV since I produce TV content. But Netflix it's good because it's on your terms.
Yes. And there's no commercials.
Exactly. So what do you like to watch on Netflix?
Oh, right now I love Grace and Frankie. I love Full House. Full House has been my favorite show of all time ever since I was little. So now I'm I would probably memorize all the episodes from season 1 through season 9. I watched 3 times over and over again. And now I'm watching Friends.
Oh, I love that show.
But you gotta use VPN.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna tell you which one. You gotta find there's
actually, if you switch to iFlix, you can watch Friends.
That's what Our
Every
producer,
season.
P. Big, had told me
Exactly,
before.
on iFlix.
Yes. And I
What else?
love... I
Any
love
Netflix originals that you like to watch?
Grace and Frankie.
Oh, okay.
That's I recommend. It's a funny show. It's like older women. But it's really fun. It's really entertaining, and it's the actors in it are great. Yeah. And
Yeah, so now we can
13 Reasons Why.
Oh,
I love that
I
too.
watched it too.
Yeah. What are you watching?
Right now, currently, I just started watching The Keepers. It's actually like a documentary series about the murder of this nun back in the year 1979 or something. And they try to figure out what happened to her, who killed her. It's very spooky. That's why I like it.
I love all the documentaries on it too. There's one on like killer women. Like
I saw that one.
Yeah, a bunch of documentaries by PBS are on Netflix. I like to watch one of the serial killer ones. I've watched a bunch of those.
So you like to watch series of movies that people kill people. Exactly like me. I guess. I love it too.
Yeah, 13 Reasons Why and these documentaries. And then I found some documentaries that are really interesting on palaces in England. I think it's made by PBS.
The Crown?
In England. No, it's it's like a documentary on each like different palaces, and they talked about what happened back then, and you know, it's really interesting.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe I should watch it too.
Yeah, it's good. Now, our next section is called What's Your Take On? And I'm going to give you 3 topics to choose from. You'll choose one, and then we'll discuss on it of what your take would be.
Can we talk about the 3 of them? I can't choose.
Oh, you have to choose.
Okay.
We're going to only do one. All right. Our first topic is on superstitions. Second is on weddings. And third is on startups.
Oh, you know, being an IT angel, if you see me air quoting this right now, the angel part, I'm supposed to pick startup, right? But I'm going to go for something different. So either the first one or the second one. Well, weddings.
Yay! What's your take on it? So you know how like in Thailand, there's a saying that, if you have a big wedding, then it's like ตำน้ำพริกละลายแม่น้ำ or if you have like a small wedding, then they'll think that you're not respecting your
ไม่ให้เกียร
elders
ติพ่อแม่เจ้าบ่าวเจ้าสาว
ไม่ให้เกียรติญาติผู้ใหญ่ What's your opinion on that?
I mean, I can understand why people would spend a lot of money to hold like really big weddings, because it's like once in a lifetime. I mean, hopefully once in a lifetime.
Yes, knock on wood.
And it's about we are in the culture of not wanting to lose face. So I can totally understand that. But for me, I feel like I don't really care about weddings. I mean, I don't even have to have one. And but it's just something that, you know, if you want to have a big wedding, that's your choice. That's your money. That's your decision. Nobody should make you feel bad about having small or big weddings. Let me ask you too. What was your wedding like?
Oh, it was huge.
See, so now I can be more, careful about.
No, but on the contrary, I grew up in America, and I've always wanted like a small and very intimate wedding, and, so I casually mentioned that to my now husband, my then fiance. I said, like, what about like, maybe a destination wedding, like by the beach or something, or like a small wedding, like just our friends and like close friends and family. And he looked at me, he goes, my dad will never go for that.
Oh, no.
And I was like, I could see why. And like his dad has a lot of friends. His parents have a lot of friends. So I could see why. So we ended up like doing
But that's understandable.
Thai
And
wedding.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Totally.
And it was so much fun. And I'm so glad we did, because that was one of the most memorable moments in my life, because I see all our loved ones, all our friends, all our family, some who flown across the like the world to be with us.
A celebration. So if you have money, then just spend it on the celebration. If it's important to you, then it's totally okay.
But at the same time, I don't think that should be like the main focus, you know? Like if you have a smaller wedding, that's okay too. It's not like, oh, you don't respect the elders or whatever. But if it's a small wedding, but it's meaningful and it's intimate and it's nice, then it will be memorable regardless.
That's true. I MC for a lot of weddings. Like every time that my friend, or sometimes not even my friends, but when they get married, they always want me to MC for their wedding. So I feel like I've been in enough weddings, and every time that I think, okay, I'm not going to be into this wedding, it's not going to make me feel like, it cannot make me cry. And
what happened?
Well, most of the time it does. I'd be like tearing up, like, oh, this is so romantic when you play the song 1,000 Years or something that Ed Sheeran would sing. I would feel like, okay, now I'm jealous. But then when that moment is gone, then I'm back to a normal state. And I feel like, okay, I don't need to have a wedding. But when I'm in another wedding, I feel like, oh, I want this to be my wedding. And then it's over once again. So it keeps repeating like this. And I feel like I've been in just so many weddings that I feel like, okay, maybe enough. I don't need to have my own wedding.
Maybe when the time comes, you might feel differently. But ultimately, it's up to you, you know, big or small wedding. It's up to you and your significant other of where you're comfortable and how you want it to come out. So don't pay attention to other people. Just care about you and your significant other.
Yeah, I kind of also feel like talking about the first topic. That sounds really fun too.
Yeah, do it. It's fun. Superstitions.
Yay!
So, you know, like Thai people in our culture, we believe, and I mean believe with the capital, the whole spelling, in superstitions. วันนี้ต้องใส่สีอะไรโหจะไปทำงานต้องก้าวเท้าไหนออกจากบ้านโอ้ต้องดูดวงก่อนสิว่าวันนี้มีโชคลาภอะไรไหมผู้ใหญ่จะเอ็นดูเราไหม
ไอ้เรื่องจิ้งจกทักนี่เขายังกลัวอยู่ไหมไม่แล้วเนาะ
ไม่ค่อยแล้วไม่มีแล้ว not really and then like ห่วงบ้านห่วงจุ้ยแก้แบบแล้วแก้แบบอีกอะไรเงี้ย so what's your take on that since you really want to discuss this
yes I know I feel like okay มาคุยเรื่องดูดวง
right
ดูดวงดีไหมBecause I feel like, okay, now that we talk about Ding Jok Tak and we cannot go outside the house, it's kind of like ancient right now. Nobody believes that anymore. Or maybe they still do. I don't know. But nobody believes that anymore, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to going to like a fortune teller, I feel like I mean, I do that sometimes. Being in the tech industry or presenting myself as an IT girl.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to want to do duang.
It's like
that shouldn't happen. I know. But I find that it's very comforting sometimes when you're in trouble, when you have some problems that you cannot solve and you don't see any way out. I mean, it happened to me last year. I was in this very I wouldn't say nasty, but like really bad breakup. I was like really, really sad, and I kind of like lost hope in life. And I felt that okay, I need to be told that there was still hope to go on. I feel like I needed to be told that I'm going to be okay. But how do I know that? I need someone to tell me that I'm going to be okay. I mean, I got to that point in life that was really bad. So I discussed it with my friend, and he said that there's nothing wrong with going to a fortune teller or maybe checking your horoscope. Just to check. Maybe there might be more options that you never thought of before. The fortune teller might be able to tell you that, okay, this is the third way out. Maybe you can consider that. So I did. And I ended up not feeling any better. So basically it did not help me, but I totally understand why people would want to go to fortune tellers. In a way, maybe they're facing some insecurities. They are encountering something that they cannot get out of on their own. So this is why people go to fortune tellers, as long as you don't, go overboard with it, like spending so much money on the fortune telling sessions. I think it's okay. It's an activity. Sometimes I talk to my friend and they ask me, do you want to go to a fortune teller with me today? And I'm like, I'm okay now, so I don't have to go. And I know this one friend. who went to a fortune teller and then she was told that she wouldn't get married until like 35. So she was like probably 30 or 31 years old back then. And she started dating this guy that, you know, normally not someone that she would go for.
Right.
So she said, it's okay. I'm just going to date him for a while because he's not going to be the one. Because the fortune teller told me that it's going to be someone that came along when I'm like 35 years old. So I'm like, okay, if you feel that it's okay, just go out with him. So they ended up getting married.
Was she at least 35 when they got married?
No, they got married like maybe 5 or 6 months after they started seeing each other. Oh. So in a way, there was kind of a blessing, you know, because otherwise she wouldn't have gone out with him.
Right.
But he was a nice guy. So it happened. Maybe the fortune teller knew something. And just kind of, you know, hide
just nudging her a little.
I know.
Yeah.
So maybe there's something to it that we cannot มันแบบ ไม่เชื่อก็
อย่าลบหลู่
not exactly like that but it might be something to it you know
Our last section is called What If? And this is a chance for you to become Miss America or Miss Thailand.
Okay.
Because we will have a jar for you.
But I'm an angel already.
It will be overlapping. It's okay. It's okay. This will be your angel.
Okay.
The super angel crowning ceremony. We have a jar for you filled with questions, hypothetical questions, and you choose one. And
since you know me so well now that I cannot choose one, can I choose two?
No, this one you get one. Because you don't know what is the rest of them. All right, are you ready, Angel?
What did I get? Okay.
Your question is, if you were given one superpower, what would you ask for? สมมติให้ขอพลังพิเศษได้อย่างหนึ่งจะขอพลังอะไรคะ
เป็นนางงามก็จะต้องตอบด้วยว่า Thank you for the question. If I could choose to have one superpower, of course, I would choose to have the superpower of granting myself more and more superpowers. Like unlimited superpowers that today I want to be able to read people's mind. Tomorrow I want to be able to travel with you know เป็นแบบเดินทางไปไหนก็ได้เหมือนมีประตูวิเศษอะไรอย่างเงี้ย and maybe like the next day I would want something totally different. So I think I have to play it safe by saying that I want to have the superpower to have more and more superpowers. Is that okay?
Gosh, that's fine. Greedy.
I know. I'm a greedy angel. Yay.
Just kidding. No, that is a great question. I mean, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want that power? Seriously, that is like an awesome power to have.
I know. Yeah, but if I could choose one, I mean, I can't say that it's a practical choice because the question wasn't practical from the start.
Right.
The superpower part. I think I want to have a superpower of not caring about what people think of me or not caring so much whether I did well or am I living my life well enough or you know just kind of like the power of letting go. I want to be able to let go because I feel like I'm the type of person who doesn't let go. I get stressed easily.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm too hard on myself, especially when it comes to work. And both relationship, obviously.
Right.
So yeah, I think the power of letting go is something that is being taken for granted. If you can just let things that should be let go, then your life will be much happier. Yay! Words of wisdom.
มองต้องลงค่ะ
ดีไหม
มากเลยขอบคุณมากเลยนะคะ
ขอบคุณค่ะ
Thank you so much for being here with us today.
I had so much fun. Thank you for having me here.
Yay! I'm so glad that I get a chance to know you better and our listeners get a chance to know you better อยากฝากผลงานอะไรไหมคะทิ้งท้าย
ผลงานเหรอคะตอนนี้มีรายการจริงๆก็มีมาตลอด รายการเกี่ยวกับเทคโนโลยีชื่อรายการ Cool Tech นะคะอยู่ทางช่อง Voice TV ก็สามารถติดตามความเคลื่อนไหวได้ค่ะ facebook.com/cooltechshow because sometimes we change our airing time a bit so just go on the page and like it so you can follow us thank you so much for being here ขอบคุณค่ะ
ถ้ารู้ว่าเพื่อนคนไหนรักภาษาอังกฤษชอบฟังภาษาอังกฤษและเรื่องราวชีวิตที่น่าสนใจของเซเลบหลากหลายโบฝากแชร์เอพิโซดนี้ให้เขาฟังด้วยนะคะ
Binge listen to all of our shows and episodes at thestandard.co/podcast The Standard Podcast เปิดหูเปิดตาเปิดใจเปิดโลก